In this presentation, I'm going to model a reading strategy, and the strategy I've chosen to demonstrate is summarizing. Summary is a wonderful way for students to demonstrate how well they comprehend what they're reading. For this scenario, I'm teaching second grade students how to summarize for ELA, and I've already determined which graphic organizer to provide each student, as the organizers do vary in difficulty. I will refer to these as chain of events or sequencing sheets, and I am working with students that range between an intermediate and an advanced oral level of proficiency. So far, we've been working on pulling main idea and important details out of our readings, and I'm treating this as though this is the first exposure of putting it all together for a summary. The book that we are working with is The Three Little Javelinas by Susan Lowell. And so you have an idea of the type of organizers that the students have been provided. This would be for our intermediate, which allows the students the opportunity to draw a picture of each main event and include one or two major details of the event. And then for our more advanced proficiency students, we have this sheet, which, if you notice, it has more event boxes and allows for better details or more detailed information in each box. With that being said, let's begin. Okay, class, I would like everybody to take out their chain of events sheet, writing notebook, and a pencil. When you are ready, may I please have eyes on me so that I know you are ready and you are actively listening. Thank you. We have been working on and have completed our chain of events sheets on the story of The Three Little Javelinas. And remember how we wrote down for each major event of the story who did what, okay? Well, today we're going to be using the notes that we made to summarize or write a summary of the story. And a summary is a quick version of an event or story. Many things can be summarized. We can summarize books, articles, movies, or everyday details of our lives. So, for example, if I wanted to tell you about my morning, and I wanted to present it in a way that you could retell it to me. If I were to say, I woke up at 5:53 this morning, I stumbled into the bathroom, I washed my face, brushed my teeth, combed my hair, and then I stood in my closet for 20 minutes trying to find the perfect shirt to match my floral print skirt. I didn't like how the polka dots or striped shirts looked with my floral print, so I decided to go with a plain, solid colored t-shirt. Then I went into the kitchen and poured a bowl of cereal, but I realized I was out of milk, so instead I toasted a bagel and smothered it in strawberry cream cheese, because I also found out that I am out of my favorite garden vegetable flavored cream cheese. And then while I was driving to work, I had to take a detour because of road construction, and I got stopped at 3 lights. When I got here, I had to park in my favorite, or somebody had already parked in my favorite shady spot, so I had to park in a sunny spot, which means my car is going to be really hot when I leave today. This would not be a good telling of my day because you would not be able to retell me the details of what happened. You might remember some parts and pieces, but you wouldn't have the important parts. And a good example of a summary of my morning would be I woke up, I got dressed, I ate breakfast, and drove to school. Okay? If I asked you if you could retell me what I did with my morning, would you be able to tell me? Yeah, probably. Okay? So, now look at the first box of your chain of events sheet, and can someone tell me what you think a good summary of the first major event of the story might be? And remember, we only want to include the main points and important details. You know, the who's and the what's. Who's and what they did, or what happened. Yes. Good, Jane. we could write, the first javelina builds a house out of tumbleweeds. Coyote comes and wants to eat the javelina. Coyote blows the house down and the javelina escapes. That would be a good summary. Now, Jane was working with this sequence sheet. Now, can someone with the other sequence sheet give me an idea as to what they think might be a good summary of the first event of the story? Yes, the first javelina builds a house from tumbleweeds and Coyote blows it down. Okay? Now, when we begin to write our summary, we need to make certain that we include the title of our book. So first, when we write, what in the book, comma, what goes here? What do I put before the title of a story? Yes, quotation marks. The Three Little Javelinas. Comma, what goes at the end of my title? Yes, I'm so glad to hear, quotation marks. Now, what is the one common thing that happens in almost all of the main events of our story? Yes, the coyote tries to eat the javelinas. So in the book, The Three Little Javelinas, a coyote tries to eat the javelinas. Okay, period. All right, now, this is going to be what we call the introduction to our story. Can't read it very well there. Here we go. Now, we're going to move on to our next paragraph, or the first major event of our story. This is our introduction. This is our first major event. And who can tell me? Yes, that's what happens. But we need one of those special words, one of those transitional words. Can someone tell me a transitional word that would work well here? Yes, first, comma, then you tell me what happens. And in this, when you tell me what happens, what do I want you to tell me? Yes, I want you to tell me who and what. Who did what? Okay? Then when we go to the next paragraph of our story, I need another transitional word. Can someone give me a transitional word that would work good for the next paragraph? Yes, next, comma. And then you tell me what you have written in your notes. What am I going to include? Yes, the who and the what. Okay, our next paragraph. Can somebody give me another transitional word? Yes, then or after. I'm going to use then. Okay, what do I write? The who and the what. Okay, now we worked on our introduction together. This is our intro. This is our closing or our ending. Okay? Today, I want you to write, finally. And what happens at the very end of our story? Yes, the coyote runs away. And what did the javelinas do? Yes, and the javelinas live happily ever after. Okay? So this is how our paper should look. We should have our introduction, our first main event, our next main event, the next event after that, and then our ending of what finally happens at the end of our story. Okay? Before you start writing, I want you to write one of our transitional words. And we will write these up here as a reminder. We can use ordinal words such as first, second, third. We can use next. Another word. Yes, then. Another word. Yes, after. Good. Any other words? Finally. Yes. Anything else? Yes, last or lastly. Okay? I want you to write one of these words at the top of your box as a reminder that you are moving from one section to another. You are transitioning from one idea to another. So as you can see here, I've written above my boxes, first, next, then, and finally. I want you to choose the words that you like the best, write them above the boxes so that when you start to write, you remember to use those transitional words, okay? With that being said, you will have 15 minutes to work on your summaries. I have the music going, and I will set the timer and project it on the whiteboard. Whoops, sorry. Project it on the whiteboard so that you can see how much time you have left. And go. Okay, at this point of my lesson, I circulate around the room and give feedback to the students. I give them feedback regardless if they are understanding the concept and, taking off with the writing process, or if they're struggling and they need more support. I give them feedback either way. So with this being said, this concludes my presentation. Thanks for watching, and I hope you find it useful.